Well, the Lokayukta today conducted raids across Karnataka to nab corrupt government officials. Lokayukta raids are currently underway at Davangere, Kolar, Chikballapur, Koppal, Haveri, Bagalkote, Shimoga, Raichur and Vijapur. The officials who have been raided include District Hospital Superintendent Muni Raju. His house has been raided in Kolar. PWD Assistant Executive Engineer Mahantesh's house has been raided in Bagalkote. Group D worker Sri Ramaya's house has been raided in Chikballapura. Deputy Tehsildar Basavaraj Koppad's house has been raided in Byadagi town and Haveri. Police Sub-Inspector Somla Nayak's house has been raided in Davangere. Town Planning Officer R. Nagraj's house has also been raided in Shimoga. Raids have been conducted across the state by the Lokayukta after receiving numerous complaints on various government officials who have allegedly amassed properties disproportionate to their known sources of income. Have in fact sprung into action today and conducted surprise checks and raids. Cash as well as several crucial documents have been seized by the police officials. Well, the government officials who were raided include a police officer, a town planning official, a DC officer, and well, early morning raids were conducted in Chikballapura, Kolar and Koppal, where officials were seen checking houses, offices, as well as establishments and properties belonging to various government offices. And while the BMTC has hiked fares across the board by an average of 15%, the new fares come into force at midnight. The minimum fare ticket for the fare stage for a non-AC bus has been increased from 5 to 6 rupees, while ticket fare for further stages has been increased by an average of 15% thereafter. The BMTC hopes that this increase will bring an additional revenue of around 235 crore rupees during the financial year of 2014-2015. Officials say there is going to be further increase in diesel prices in the coming months, as well as increase in dearness allowance of the BMTC staff. Well, let's take a look as to how the fare affects you.
First stage current price is ₹5. The new fare will be ₹6. In the second stage the current price is ₹10, while the new fare will be ₹12. Third stage the current price is 12, while the new price is ₹14. First stage the current price is ₹10, while the new fare will be ₹15. Second stage the current price is ₹15, while the new fare will be ₹20. The third stage the current price is ₹15, while the new fare is ₹20. The average stage comprises a distance of 2 kilometers.
Well, my colleague Bansi caught up with Anjum Parvez, the MD of BMTC. Let's listen in.
Bengaluru Metropolitan Transport Corporation has hiked the fares again. It's a hike of about 15%. We have with us the Managing Director of the BMTC, Mr. Anjum Parvez. Mr. Parvez, another fare hike. How do you, explain the reasons for it?
See, if you see, the last fare hike of BMTC was in the year 2013 in the month of June. So this fare hike is after 11 months almost. And in 11 months, the cost has increased substantially in BMTC. Like if you see as a operation wise, our major cost is the cost of diesel and the cost of staff. And diesel cost, I have incurred additional expenditure of about 140 crore in 2013-14, and staff I have incurred about 150 crore. So all together I have an increase in the expenditure of 327 crore. So although my earning was also in that range, 324 crore was the earning, but in 2012-13 we had a loss of 147 crore, and that loss continued in 2013-14 also. So this year also we'll have roughly a loss of about 130 to 145 crore. The final figure is yet to come. And then we calculated what is my expected expenditure increase in 2014 and 15. So that comes to about 135 crores. If you add these two figures, If I have to come out of this vicious cycle of loss making, I have to earn additional revenue of about 275 crore in the financial year 2014 and 15. So based on that, we increased by 15%, and with this 15% increase, I will generate additional revenue of 235 crore, and the balance 45 crore will be generated through route rationalization and the internal efficiency improvement.
Okay. Also, people have explained that a fare hike is not the only way to increase revenues. There could be some way of minimizing your losses. For example, stopping pilferage, optimizing certain routes, more intelligent bus service. Experts have pointed out several suggestions. Don't you think using some of those suggestions would be a more feasible option?
No, I perfectly agree with them, and we are working in that direction also. Like, if you'll see that our ITS project, that is the Intelligent Transport System, that is going to be, pilot is going to be ready in 1 month time, and another 6-7 months time, all the 7,000 buses will be running with the GPS. So that will give me an advantage of, I will be able to stop route deviation. See, what is happening right now, that some of the drivers, by mischief, they are supposed to go on X route, they will not go on X route, they will go on Y route. So I'm losing the earning of the X route, because Y route, even if he's going, I'm not getting anything additional. So these kind of thing will be controlled once my ITS is come into picture. Then we have issue of double issuance of ticket, that the same issue is, same ticket is issued. Major problem, and it happens quite frequently in BMTC. So we are introducing the electronic ticketing machine. We have already finalized that thing, and very shortly that ETM will be introduced, and that will take care of the menace of double issue of the ticket. So we are expecting that by doing the ITS system alone, my revenue should increase by another 3% or so. So which is a substantial amount. So there is no second thought that the IT use can increase my revenue. And in addition to that, we are doing a massive route rationalization. These are all part of how to reduce my cost of operation. So, but the thing is that only by doing that thing, it will not be possible to bridge the gap. So maybe that with all those technology and rationalization.
Also, another question that people ask you is that this is the 4th hike in about a period of 2 years, a little about 2 years' time. So they are asking, in these 4 hikes, the fares have gone up by a little over 50%. They are asking, can you substantiate the reason for this?
No, I fully agree with you. See, as I remember 2 years back, the diesel price was 41, 42 rupees. Today, if you go to buy diesel, it is 61, 62 rupees. So it's exactly an increase of 50%. So in the 2 years, our diesel prices have increased by 50%. If you see the staff salary, then in the year 2012, from 1st January 2012, we merged the basic with DA. The moment we merged the basic with DA, my HR component increased because the HRA is given on the basic. So the HRA became almost double. Then the Bangalore DA was increased from 25% to 30%. Then inflation is 10% every year. So every 6 months I have to increase the DA by 6%. So the cost salary itself has increased by almost about 40 to 50%. So if you see these things, our fare hike is exactly matches with what has happened on the front of diesel, and because we see our purpose is not to earn profit, and we are very transparent in our performance parameter. We have a website where each and every figure is displayed for the public to see, and I can tell you on performance parameter whether it is a vehicle utilization, whether it is percentage of cancellation, whether it is coverage of kilometer per kilometer, whether it is consumption of diesel per kilometer. We are the best in the country. So it is not that these things are happening because of inefficiency of BMTC. No, we are doing the perfectly whatever best possible. Yes, there is a scope for further improvement. There is no second thought about it. But what has happened in the last 2 years, so many unprecedented things has happened on which we were not having any control. And I can tell you from 2014 and 15, for the next 3 years, there is not going to be much major hike. So like this hike itself, I don't think for the next 1 year I'm going to make any increase in the fare.
Unless there's a hike in diesel price.
That we have taken into account. At a rate of 70 paisa, we have taken into the future increase. We have already taken into account of this thing. But if suddenly government comes and increase the diesel price by 10 rupees in one go, then I am helpless in that case. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
There it is, Managing Director of BMTC, Mr. Anjum Parve, saying The reasons are there why such a steep hike has to be implemented. Well, for the BMTC, they have to run a bus which is profitable. They cannot run it on loss all the time. This is his reason for the steep fare hike. With camera person Basuraj, this is Bansi for News 9.
Well, there we have it. Anjum Parvez, the MD of BMTC, going on to state that the BMTC cannot get into a cycle of being in losses all the time, and that's the reason why the prices have been hiked. In fact, the BMTC has to increase its revenue by more than 300 crore rupees during the current fiscal year to cover the losses of 2013 and 2014, as well as to take care of the future increase in the cost of operation. It is believed that the balance increase of 60 to 65 crore rupees will be achieved through ongoing process of route rationalization and by improving performance parameters, the corporation said while explaining the reasons for the fare hike. Well, a record 78 candidates are in the fray in the Varanasi Lok Sabha seat from where Narendra Modi filed his nomination papers. The large number of candidates is likely to force the Election Commission to use ballot papers instead of EVMs for voting. According to the Election Commission, as many as 38 persons have filed nominations along with Modi yesterday. The number of candidates in Varanasi may change after scrutiny of nomination papers, though, which will be held on the 28th of April. An EVM can have a maximum of 16 candidates and a maximum of 4 EVMs can be used at one polling station. Ballot papers have to be used if the number of candidates in the constituency exceeds 64. Well, just yesterday we saw how after waiting for almost 23 minutes, Modi entered the office of the district collectorate to file his nomination yesterday, as several candidates had already entered to file their nominations yesterday. And while Giriraj Singh, who was under fire for his alleged hate speech, got interim relief today after a court granted him anticipatory bail. Singh had attracted the Election Commission's ire for his controversial remarks during an election meeting in Jharkhand on the 19th of April. He said that those who opposed Narendra Modi should go to Pakistan. Singh had applied for bail hours after a joint team of Bihar and Jharkhand police raided his house to arrest him. However, the other two FIRs lodged against him at Deoghar and Bokaro in Jharkhand for the comments still stand, and he is likely to face arrest. A team of Bokaro police is already in Patna since Thursday to arrest him in the light of non-bailable warrant issued by a Bokaro court. His house was raided, but he could not be found. And well, the Supreme Court today delivered the verdict on 7 convicts in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case. It said that they cannot be released prematurely by the Tamil Nadu government. The court has said that the matter will be heard by a larger constitution bench. On Feb 18, the Apex Court had commuted death sentence of Murugan Santan A.G. Pararivalan on the grounds of 11-year delay in deciding their mercy pleas by the centre. Besides the 3, Nalini, Robert Piers, Jay Kumar and Ravi Chandran were the other 4 convicts whose release was decided by the Tamil Nadu government. On Feb 19, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha announced their immediate release from prison prematurely by invoking provisions of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Assailing the decision, the centre rushed to the Supreme Court, which stayed their release on the 20th of February. It had also rejected the centre's submission that there was no unreasonable delay in deciding their mercy plea, and condemned prisoners did not go through agonizing experience as they were enjoying behind bars. And well, a brilliant blue-white light was seen streaking across the night sky in a Russian city before appearing to flare and disappear from view. The celestial body is believed to be a giant meteorite similar to the one that exploded above Chelyabinsk in February last year. The sight was captured on a camera mounted on the dashboard of a car. Emergency services said no injuries or damage had been reported.